What makes a good map? Is it the painstaking immersive design that sucks you into the world and makes you feel like you truly exist within the game? Maybe it's how the map functions during a match, the opportunities it opens up for dynamic gameplay and the general flow from one moment to the next. Or are the best maps just the ones with a cool idea at their heart? Truthfully, I have no idea, but I think that the best maps incorporate all of these elements. They're fun to run around in, they play good, and are interesting to look at. And then there's Shipment. Shipment is a strange case when it comes to Call of Duty maps, whether it's the version based in the beautiful city of London, or Honolulu, or the Ukraine. Every version of Shipment throws out the normal conventions we associate with a Call of Duty map. The idea behind the map isn't the most believable. Why are we fighting around shipping containers? How did we get here? Why can't we leave? It all just doesn't make a ton of sense. In terms of design, it's uninteresting. I mean, look at it. With its beautiful palette of washed out green, blue, and gray. And it's completely void of any kind of discernible flow. It's basically just a lot of this.
Spawn die, spawn die, spawn die, spawn die, spawn die!
But with all of these, why is Shipment so much fun? Well, because of its size. Shipment is small. Thanks for watching. Okay, I know, Shipment is small is an obvious statement, but we gotta talk about it. For a normal 5v5 game, the distribution of players looks something like this. No matter where you are on Shipment, it's likely that an enemy will be in your direct line of sight at every moment, and if they're not, it's because they just spawned in behind you, and it's already too late. And that's what Shipment is known for, total utter chaos, and it's this chaotic nature of the map that will lead to some of the highest highs and lowest lows of your Call of Duty career. So grab some stims, buckle up, and welcome to Shipment. Your time on Shipment will entail participating in one of two things: wandering or defending. The Shipment Wanderer is essentially what it sounds like, making your way around the map looking for a fight before the fight finds you. While this is a great way to practice fast-paced gun skill, it's also great to test how lucky you are as a person, because luck is the name of the game when wandering. Getting a good spawn, luck. An enemy not spawning in behind you, luck. Taking a corner and not running headfirst into the barrel of your enemy's gun, you guessed it, luck. But when the Call of Duty gods look favorably upon you and grace you with a good spawn, a clear path, and tunnel-visioned enemies, well, then it's almost too easy. But keep in mind the ~1 rule of Shipment: your enemy is everywhere. So if you don't want the kills you just got to be a waste, once you dispatch your enemies, get the out of there. Because it's almost never going to be a 1v1 fight. More often a 1v2, or a 1v3, or even a 1v the whole enemy team. So whatever you do, keep moving and don't get distracted. I know you want to shoot that corpse, but if you do so, you're gonna be just like them. Now, if the Wanderer playstyle seems a bit too paranoia-inducing with the constant threat of being hopelessly overwhelmed looming over you, you might find more enjoyment in defending, which consists of locating the closest corner when you spawn in, and there you go. That is now your domain to valiantly protect. These corners are great. This one is garbage, literally. So just avoid it at all costs and you'll be fine. Once you've found the corner to call home, you'll find out pretty fast why this is a more calm way to play Shipment. Defending is the only way to gain a sense of control, because you have a general idea of where enemies are going to come from. But that doesn't mean you're not still at the mercy of the luck of Shipment, because the spawning system here is akin to a drunk, blindfolded Call of Duty employee throwing darts at the map to decide where to place players in their next life. So that sense of control can evaporate quickly. But as frustrating as bad spawns can be, they can be just as fruitful, so take it in stride. It's just part of life here on Shipment. Which is why I found the best way to play Shipment is a mixture of the both of these. A bit of wandering to get the heart rate up, and some defending to delay the oncoming cardiac arrest. So with the two Shipment activities out of the way, now it's time for the most important part: deciding which weapon you're gonna roll with. But here's the thing. There is so much going on that you can get kills with just about every weapon you can think of. The crossbow? Sure, why not? Underbarrel thermite launcher? Well, how do you like your enemies? Rare or well done? Akimbo revolvers? Well, would you look at the time?
It's high noon.
But all that's not to say that there aren't better options out there. So for those of you seeking practical advice, I got you with the official, undebatable, 100% accurate Shipment weapon class tier list. And up first we got the ARs, which are pretty average on Shipment. Don't get me wrong, you can do well with them, but on Shipment, where most gunfights happen within an arm's length, they're held back by their fire rate. Not to mention, they're just kind of boring. We all have our favorites and know how good they are, but even the most absurd, disgusting creation you can come up with is gonna work just fine. They're just nothing special, so B tier. But also, the Val exists, and that's most definitely not a B tier, but that thing is in a category of its own. Then there's the SMGs, which are the kings of Shipment. Fast moving, fast shooting, big clips, they're great, and probably what you'll see most of the time. They just make a lot of sense for Shipment, as their effective range encompasses basically the entire map. So with these, you really can't go wrong. Used by tryhards and casual players alike, their only downfall is that there are other weapons that do more damage, so not every gunfight will go your way. But 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be the best for dealing with anything Shipment throws at you. Well, almost anything. S tier. Then we got the wildcards, the snipers and diet snipers, or marksman rifles. These can really go anywhere because they're dependent greatly on your ability to hit shots, which on Shipment can be a big ask.
Nope.
But if you're decent with the whole sniping thing, the one-shot potential these weapons offer means you can do absolute work on Shipment. Just use some common sense when picking your loadout, like your Warzone HDR class probably won't result in a good time. So even for you non-quickscopers out there, a fast ADS is still gonna go a long way. And if you think that snipers and marksman rifles are still too slow for Shipment, you clearly haven't used the MK2 carbine, the fastest one-shot rifle in the West. This thing was made for Shipment, way faster than the other snipers, about as much damage as the car, and just as satisfying to use. But like I said, the effectiveness of these weapons will depend player to player, so I'll put them at a soft B tier, because results may vary. And then the big boys, the LMGs, which are an interesting choice for Shipment. While having 200 bullets can come in handy when you're on the giving end of a spawn trap, once that clip runs out, you're transformed into a giant sitting duck. They're just slow in every sense of the word. They move slow, they aim in slow, and they kill slow. So they're great if you're defending, but not much else. So C tier. But this doesn't apply to one LMG, the Fin. This gun has been bugged since it descended from the skies right into the hands of sweaty Shipment players. With the right attachments, it has this funny mechanic where aiming in makes it less accurate. So it's always a hipfire weapon, and the hipfire is crazy. Up close or far away, nobody is safe. And you can still move around like a crackhead, no problem. To top it off, you have 100 bullets to work with. So with this thing, you can single-handedly run a match of Shipment. So the Fin is an S tier. And then the riot shield, which believe it or not, sucks. Like if you're actually using this thing for kills on Shipment, you're going for camos, which is honest work, so I salute you. But everyone else with the riot shield is keeping them strapped to their back for added protection, for good reason. Landing 2 uninterrupted hits is tough. Be it your teammate stealing your kill, your enemy just running away after you thump them one time,
Fast as fuck, boy.
or being bunny hopped to death, you just don't pose much of a threat. However, there is this weird camaraderie among riot shield players on Shipment, where they put a blind trust into each other and can coexist peacefully, up until you stab them in the back. but still a D tier. On the theme of melee, the melee weapons. Now, Shipment is probably one of the only maps where going melee only is actually really effective. Sometimes. If you can get lucky with your spawns and the separation of enemies, you can hack and slash to your heart's content. But most of the time, you're gonna get one kill, and that's about it, because somebody almost definitely just witnessed you wailing on their teammate. Maybe for me, it's just a skill issue.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
But I'd say you're probably not gonna go flawless using melee. But let's be real, you don't care. All you melee users care about is chaining a bunch of kills together to feel like you've transcended your opponents without using the ultimate crutch, bullets. But it does look pretty cool when you pull it off. So, B tier. Lastly, the pistols, which are pretty subpar on other maps but really shine on Shipment. They're quick, they do a lot of damage when close, and let you live out your dream of becoming John Wick.
Hello, John. I heard about your wife. I'm sorry. My condolences. Let us not resort to our baser instincts and handle this like civilized men to move.
What do you say?
Enough.
For most of the pistols though, having two is almost always going to be better than one. The only problem with that is that you might develop slight arthritis with how furiously you need to click the trigger, but I say it's worth it. And I don't know about you, but nothing really scratches that itch on my degenerate Call of Duty brain quite like getting one-shots with a deagle.
The objectives. We must control the field.
So pistols are an easy A tier. And that's it. Every weapon class ranked for their effectiveness on Shipment. Make of it what you will, but I think it's a well-rounded, complete list that accurately describes the feelings of players. Whoa, where are you going? I'm not done. What happened? And what is that sound? Oh yeah, those guys. 100% absolutely no question. In every match of Shipment, at least one enemy is going to pull out a shotgun, an RPG, or both. It might not be the whole enemy team, but just 2 or 3 exceptionally dedicated opponents can make your life on Shipment a living hell with these weapons. Now, objectively, these weapons are great for Shipment, for obvious reasons. Whether you've picked up one of the million that are probably on the ground, or have a perfectly crafted loadout designed for aimlessly pointing and clicking, they're just extremely hard to counter. However, I, as someone who has been sent to the Shadow Realm by shotguns and rockets alike a countless amount of times, cannot recommend them in good faith. But I also think that everyone should have an in case of emergency break glass kind of loadout. And here's mine. The most horrendous Jack 12 someone can get their hands on, complete with Dragon Breath rounds and frangible disabling. Or if you're in a particularly bad mood, change out the Dragon Breath rounds for the 32 round mag and just don't stop shooting. Now, is this overkill? Absolutely. But with this, as long as you shoot first, you've won. And sometimes that's not even the criteria. And then the RPG, which can be used to randomly fire down the middle of the map for easy kills, or used up close to wipe out a group of enemies in a blaze of glory. So these are sitting at S tier, but if you've ever played Shipment, you knew that already. But these still aren't the best weapons on Shipment. That's right, there's an S+ tier and it houses the best weapon one can pull out on this map, the Juggernaut. If you can manage to get a Juggernaut, that's game. You can't lose. This match, myself and my teammate got Jug simultaneously, and like 2 fat magicians, made the enemy team disappear. Truthfully, all the kill streaks are powerful on Shipment. For example, the Wheelson, which I think has a cannon attached to it, but I really wouldn't know. But the Juggernaut is just by far the funniest to run. Seeing the fear in people's eyes as they try to run away never gets old. Like this player who took one glance at the behemoth with infinite ammo slowly closing the distance and ran for the hills.
Bye, have a great...
I love the Juggernaut, but your opponents might not feel the same way.
Oh my god.
So we got the playstyles and the weapons sorted. Now let me tell you 3 quick tips I've discovered from my time in Shipment that might make your experience here slightly more manageable. The first tip is that these containers can be shot through. I don't know how common this knowledge is because I rarely ever see people do it, but if someone is giving you a hard time or holding an objective in these containers, just dump your mag into the top or the side. It's always the freest kill. Tip 2 is about objectives, namely the B flag on domination. Now this can be a real pain in the ass to capture given it's dead in the middle of the most hectic map in the game, so if your team is having trouble, just go to the top shipping container, lay down, and cap it from there. This has about a 70% success rate, but that's better than the 0.4% chance you have of getting a full cap on the ground. The last tip is definitely the coolest, and that's to use throwing knives. While grenades are powerful on Shipment, throwing knives can be just as good. Not only can you just randomly toss them and have a pretty good chance at hitting an unlucky soul, but they're also great for clearing people out on either side of the open containers. Just toss them at an angle through the door, and without even showing yourself, you can take someone out on the other side. And this works surprisingly often, and when you get it in a kill cam, it honestly looks pretty sick.
Don't get shot in your foot, bro.
Get out.
I won't tell you.
Come on now. Come
Yeah,
on.
that shit was
Come
sick,
on.
bro. That shit was sick.
Nice cheat, nice cheat. Good job.
Now I'm sure there are more tips for Shipment that I just don't know about, so if you have any and are willing to share, drop them in the comments, because I'm really interested in what other people have come up with to help navigate the chaos that is this map. The final thing to say about your time in Shipment is to not take it too seriously. It is a lawless, broken wasteland, and it becomes way more fun when you accept it as such. Whether you're defending your corner to get mounted kills, blowing off steam with a shotgun, or just testing out a goofy loadout, Shipment has something for everyone. Except in hardcore. That is literally hell. Thanks for watching.